Welcome to Paragon. What we're going to do, this first section is going to be a home page overview. So you'll notice a couple things about the page. You've got your icons across the top here for navigation. You also have some of these boxes around your center page. Here's your center page. Yours might look a little different than mine. If you have your company logo here in the upper left-hand corner, then your center page, your home page message is going to be different. It will revolve around your brokerage to get to all the things your broker has to offer. If you'd like to see what the MLS is doing, simply click on the little MLS button here, and you'll see what we've got going on. So the home page tour is first and foremost, you have a power search in the upper left. I like to do just a partial address up here. Of course, if you're looking for 123 Main, it might not come up so easily. You'll see that I've got two different listings that come up, two different numbers here. This is one of our native listings. This is part of a data sharing listing, and both of these have been closed. If I wanted to access them both, I could simply click on the link up here. So we also have on the right-hand side here is your Mls Documents. This is going to help you find so many things that you're looking for. So I'm going to reduce this down just to what you'll be seeing. And here we are. So you'll have access to all sorts of information like your copyright documents, foreclosure and short sale docs. We also have our governing docs, which will get your rules and regulations. We also have request forms here too. But the most important thing I want to help you out with is the MIRS education. We have 68 files at this time. So this has cheat sheets for Paragon and all of our products. So that's one thing. So if you're looking for something for a CMA, simply type in CMA, and here's all the docs that are associated with how to create a CMA. Alrighty, and if you're looking for a little bit more help, the new Agent Onboarding is right here too. We've got a checklist for you to help check off those items that you're going to be doing. Your new agent video, HomeSnap Pro lead generation. So these are going to be some of the tools that you'll want to start in the very beginning, how to generate leads. Alrighty, continuing on our home page tour. You also have a compose email button up here, which you're probably never going to use. However, it's a good idea to know that when you do send an email out of the system, what is your email signature going to look like? So this you can edit in your user preferences wizard. We do have help in the upper right-hand corner. That will get you to tech support. On the weekends, this is the perfect way to get a hold of them. We also have class registrations here. It's probably not going to work when you're a new agent. It takes a minute for those passwords to catch up in the background. If you'd like to register for a class, simply use one of the other icons on the main page. I'll show you where that's at. Nerds lookup. Well, that's your NRDS, is your National Realtors Association database number. We also have the Paragon Academy right here. This is a great way to learn Paragon and all the things associated with searching and getting used to the system. Then we also do have help directly from Paragon. Remember, this is a national site, so this is Paragon, the national company, their help site. So don't forget, our cheat sheets are going to be your best bet to begin with. We're going to teach you how to use the tools the way we have all of our little programs working together. We also have HomeSnap help and setting up email here. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this tab here and go back to Paragon. On the left-hand side, you're going to have your message center. Those messages that pop up, these are the ones that have come up, so they'll let you know what's going on. Once you mark them as read, after you read them, they won't go away. They'll be filed right over here. Paragon News widget here is a really cool thing. This lets you know the latest updates and any other thing that's coming soon. Then we also have our quick search here on the left. So if you're looking for an ML number or a street name, like I did up here, so you can put an MLS number in here, and you might be wondering, why are there two different MLS numbers? The MLS number is the one that we have in our system. The original MLS number is the number that comes from another MLS. Say if a listing was entered into one of our data sharing, you might remember that in the previous section where you had the Great Lakes repository, and we showed you where all of those other data shares are coming from. It's Realcomp, we have Shiawassee, Saginaw, let's see, what are all the 13 places that we're sharing with downriver? Those are the things. So if your client gives you an MLS number that they found, say, on Zillow or Realtor.com, they will be giving you the original MLS number. So you can always just ask them to give you an address as well. And there's your information, all that you can search for down here. There's a lot of ways to be searching in here. And the nice thing is now is you can now look up the last quick search you did, or you can even save one of the searches that you did here too, which is a really nice piece. Over on the right-hand side is your market monitor. I absolutely love this thing. So for me, what I see here is there are 15 new listings in the last 7 days in the area I specified. Nothing has expired. There's 62 on the hot list, and the hot list is any change at all. Open houses, looks like there's going to be one coming up soon. So to use this, you could either have it set to my information, which will show you your listings, your pending sales, that type of stuff. You can set it to your office, which is the office you're licensed out of, or you can set it to your firm. So if your office has more than one location, any My Real Source offices will be located right in here. All right, so as we go back to our market, to set this up, and you should have done this in your preferences wizard, but if you want to change this at any time, you can hit the little edit widget right here, and here's the window that will come up. I don't even use class because the type helps me define that. So to see what kind of types are available, here's what we are. I'm looking for condos, farms, and residential. I live up in St. Clair, so that's why farms are a little bit more pertinent to me. I do not work in mobile home parks. I don't possess that kind of a license. Vacant land and condominiums, there were just too many in my market monitor for them to be useful for me. So I had to remove them. Business and commercial, I don't work in those areas. And of course, multifamily. I make my selections and hit save. Now I can do either a municipality or a whole county or maybe a school district. Up in St. Clair, East China School District encompasses a very nice area. Or I could do, let's see, St. Clair. I can type in just Clair for St. Clair. And then East China. I never do the Easts or the Saints or the whatevers. And the East China Township. And these are all fine and dandy and real easy. Marine City. It's all okay until you come up with something like Clinton Township. You'll see that we have 3 different numbers for Clinton Township. So here's one little secret. See, all these little areas that I selected, or municipalities I selected earlier, have the same first 2 digits. That is your county code. These are all in St. Clair County. I've just been around long enough to know that. So Clinton Township, I'm looking for Clinton Township in Macomb County. Until you know it, you won't know that it's going to be this one. Macomb County is number 50. If you don't know your county, spelling is always appreciated. Simply type it in here. That would get me the entire county of Macomb and these areas here. And of course, if you want to do Warren, Warren Woods, Warren Consolidated, whatever you want, that's how you can find those. As you scroll down, this is where you can change your selection, whether you wanted it to be your information, the office, the firm, or your market. Now, how many days back do you want to go? What type of or how much information do you want to see in your market monitor? 7 works for me right now, simply because the listing inventory is low. When the market gets to have too much information, I might back it down to 3 days or something like that. And just so you know, 0 is anything new that comes on the market today. However, if a listing gets entered in today that was actually listed yesterday, it's not going to show up as 0 days in your market monitor because it now starts at 1. So that's one of those little nuances to be careful of. I'm going to keep mine at 7 and save. So here's the newest widget here too. We have a showing time widget, which is absolutely amazing. You'll see that these will be highlighted when there is anything that needs your attention in here. And then your contact activity, this will let you know what from the Collaboration Center. And the Collaboration Center is how we get listings to our clients. So there's no new comments, no searches from my buyers, and I have no seller activity at this point. Alrighty, and then a calendar is for you and you alone. I generally don't even use it, so if you want, you can simply close it. Alright, so the cool thing is about the Market Monitor, I want to show you just a few things in here. So I'm going to click into the new listings, and these are sorted by price from lowest to highest. If you wanted to change the sorting, maybe if I wanted to go to the highest price, simply click on the asking price. Oops. Click on it again, and then I will get the most expensive listing at the top. So you will see there's the MLS number and original MLS number, which we talked about earlier. So these do come from a different MLS. They have a different original MLS number in there. All right, so I am going to go ahead and I want to click on a local, one of our own MLS numbers, because there's really some cool points in there. All right, so you'll notice here is the listing on Indian Trail in Cottrellville. All right, so the cool thing is about our listings is these quick action icons down here. This very first one, as you hover over it, you'll see that this is a single property website. If this were my listing, this would be a great opportunity for me to share this out on social media simply by clicking the button. And this is your single property website. This actually is Mike Barak's listing, so I wouldn't want to share this out on social media because it is not my listing. Number two, if it's not your listing, you will not have these social media shares over here. Those are only for the listing owner. My security is a little higher, so that's why you'll see these on my page. So he could share this out on Facebook, he could tweet it, pin it, email it, and also put it to LinkedIn. So it gives a person all the information they need to know about the property, including going mobile, scanning that. Alrighty, so that's your first piece of those quick action icons. I'm going to close out that tab. Your next one, as you hover over it, that's the Home Snap report. Home Snap is my favorite app. Hopefully you've already downloaded yours and started enjoying that. So usually when I'm talking to my clients, I'm sharing listings through Home Snap if we're just talking about one or two, or if we're out on location doing something like that. So if I typically want to talk to my clients within the app, I'm going to keep doing that here on the website, on my desktop. So I'm going to send in a message, and I don't need to talk to Mike Barak. Maybe I need to ask the listing agent something. But I'm going to go into my clients, and I'm going to pick on my husband for a minute. All right, how about this one? And now it's really cool. I can see the entire history of all the stuff we've been messaging back and forth. And you'll see that the green corner here says that they are still active. If I go back a ways, you'll start to see some different colors of pending and sold or withdrawn. And I love that it keeps the history. When my client sees this, he'll see the picture and immediately know if it's click-worthy or not. Alrighty, so Home Snap is absolutely fantastic for yourself and for your clients, because your clients can schedule with showing time. You can send a rapid CMA to your clients, and it gives you all the information about the property. You can be notified of the listing price changes. It also gives you information and your clients information about the high schools. Here's all the features of the listing. I love commute time. There's the map, mortgage calculator, similar listings. This is a really great product. We go more in depth in HomeSnap in our mobile agent class. It goes over our mobile products, which is HomeSnap, Showing Time, and Transaction Desk, which is your digital forms. And if you'd like to learn online, if you want to learn a lot more about HomeSnap, you'll want to go to the bottom of the page and go to the HomeSnap Pro University. There is plenty of information in here. All right, we have their mapping. So you have a small map here, which you can right click on and do some more information to, or you can pull your full map. I keep mine in a hybrid view, which you'll see here. Generally, as a default, yours will come up in the road view. I can zoom in, zoom out. So if you're showing properties up here in Carterville, and you might want to know a little bit of information about the area, you can add layers to the map. Once you zoom in closer, you'll be able to see parcel lines. You can see municipality lines, postal codes, county. Floodplains are always good. We have school districts as well as the attendance zones. You can also add in public and private schools, places, and of course, traffic. We all know that's a thing. All right, we have the calculator. This is a great piece. I use this trying to get my son out of the house. All the stuff, not all of the stuff, but most of the stuff entered into the listing will auto-populate into these spots here. Your purchase price is the asking price. Feel free to type over it. You're going to get it for $410. All the numbers change. Different down payment, percentage or dollar, interest rate. We're not at 3% right now. Length of the loan. So if you wanted this to be 20, your monthly payment changes. Taxes. If HOA was entered into the listing, it would be there. And of course, if you want, you could add in insurance, PMI, and that would come up with your total payment. Of course, remember, if you're not a loan officer or a mortgage officer, please be careful with doling out this information as you are not a loan officer. You have the history of the property is that next quick action icon. It's the little purple one. This will tell you all the information of the listings anytime there were any changes on here. So you'll see back in 2009 it was first recorded. She added some information here, added some more information here, and then here as well. In 2019 it was entered again, listing agent and office. Your disclosures and documents is actually the associated documents with this listing. So here are the seller's disclosures. Click on that, it'll get you to the PDF. These are mandatory, do not forget. It is mandatory to upload those with your listing. If you have any special documents that have to be in here, anything to say if you want to put an offer on this listing and it has to do this and go to here, you must also upload those here. And then how to get back to the listing, it took me a minute to learn this, use this red back button. So I also have the red button, which is the Realist Property Detail. This is from Realist. It is just a single report from Realist. There's plenty of information in Realist. But first I want to tell you, here is the mailing address up here. So be careful that the city listed up top is the mailing address and may not be the municipality. So it'll give you information on the owner, the location. See, because the location is actually in Cottrellville Township. This is your municipality. So this is just the mailing address. There will be a difference in some of them. Tax information, assessments, so plenty of information has been put in here for you. Just to let you know that if it does say MLS, this is the information that was obtained from the MLS and not from Realist or CoreLogic, as the case may be. Estimated value, listing information, MLS information, last market sale. So you see that there's plenty of information in here. And this is branded to you. Closing out this tab. So we have market stats, which we generally don't go over in the orientation class. If you want stats on the market around this particular listing, it will bring you right to there. Realtors Property Resource. It is a member benefit of the Realtors Association. It is another great nationwide database. It'll get you all sorts of detailed reports, history, etc. Now I have two buttons right here which we absolutely love, Cloud CMA. So the first one is to create a flyer for this property, and the next one is to create a property report for this particular property. So if you needed to get a really pretty flyer to your client, this is an easy way to do it. So I'm simply going to click the button. That listing is going to come into Cloud CMA. I'm going to say this is my class test and fetch the listing. You're always going to be hitting the big green button. Now there's no need to organize anything because it's one listing. So we just simply click the green button and hit to the customize. You'll also see that we are following right along here. So under your customize is where you'll pick your theme, what flyer layout you want, fonts, title, and any description. So yours is going to come up with black and gold as a default. Pick the theme that you want. It'll even give you a preview. So if your brokerage colors are black and yellow, there you go. You can generally match up your brokerage colors. So I'm going to choose this theme, and once you pick that color, it will stick until you change it the next time. And then the really great thing I love about Cloud CMA is when I pick my layout, I don't have to work too hard with this. I just take a peek. What do I want? So sometimes you might want to double check what it looks like. Let's see, I'm going to go with this one today. All right, so I'd want to give a quick peek as to what this looks like. Well, it's kind of nice, gives me a good representation of the home. Offer price, and some information here. Now, some of these the classic reports do have a QR code on them. You can simply scan them with your smartphone with a QR reader, and they can get a full property report here. All right, so let's go into publishing the report. It will always be right here as your next one that you've created. You'll see that it is publishing. It will keep all of your other ones that you've done. Class test, here we go. Let's take a peek at it. I'll zoom out so you can get a good look. And there you go. So, and it will tell you that it's courtesy of Century 21 Market Tech Realtors, because remember, we do have to give listing attribution. However, there is no contact information for the listing agent. And if you want to see what this QR code will get you from your computer, all you need to do is click on the button. So it'll give you some information. There's the contact me information, property details, features, remarks, all the listing photos, area restaurants. So this will give you some information around this home. However, some of these are 11 miles out, 10 miles out, to 7/10 of a mile. So it gives you some good information here. All right, I'm going to close out this report and go back to Cloud CMA. We do have a class on Cloud. It is called Easy CMAs with Paragon and Cloud CMA. And remember, all of our classes are at no charge. So this next one here was the property report. That was that second page you saw. So there's no need to do that one. Little splashy button. I love this one, Instanet. If you are going to put in an offer on this home, here's your easy place to start. So I simply click the button. It's going to bring all that information over into Instanet for me. It's going to name my transaction. For me, I have templates set up. Now this is my particular brokerage, which would actually be the MLS, my office. What I'm going to do is the purchase agreement. So hopefully your broker has set up a template for you to use that brings in all the right forms. If you don't have them, give us a buzz here. We will help you out with setting some up either for you independently or help your office getting them set up. Normally I would use the wizard, but for today we're just wanting to show you what happens when you click this button and what all gets auto-populated. See, in my template, I only have the purchase agreement. So over on the right-hand side, if this area is not opened up, just click on the hamburger menu to get to your forms. And there is the one form I have in here. You will need more. This is just for a class test. So here you'll see all this information has been auto-populated just because I clicked the button from the forms or from the listing. And once I use the wizard, more information will be filled out, like the price and other information like that. It's a great class for this. I know it seems to be a theme, but we have a lot of great classes here. We have about 16 instructors, all realtors, plus myself, which will teach you how to use all of the products that we have here. All right, and of course, my favorite, schedule a showing. Okay. So here's the one thing I do want to show you. Do you want to do a single showing? So if you just want to show this one particular home, you'll want to select this. Or do I want to add it to a showing cart? So I can create a new one or add it to a tour that's coming up. Alrighty, so I already had one in there. I can just keep adding them as they go. And it's really nice. Well, with only 2, you can't do a smart route. But if you have 3 in there, the system will put them in a general order for you. This may or may not be the way that you want to do it. That's okay. But what I love, to help me schedule my appointments, it says that there's a 54-minute travel time between the 2. So that will help me organize my listings and my showings. And what I do love about showing time is I can email my buyer. I can print for my client. Don't forget, am I doing an agent's version or am I doing a buyer's version? So if this is going to go to my buyer, it would not contain lockbox code information. But on these, because they are not requested, it's going to have a big note for me saying, hey, look, be careful, these are not yet requested. So it gives you some good information. And on your agent's version, it will give you your mileage. It's great for taxes at the end of the year. Alrighty. So those are the quick action icons on a listing. We also have a couple extra ones here. This is a duplicate. This is the red tax button because it's here within the legal and tax information. We have community information right here, history, and of course information on the listing agent too. Now if you're looking at a different view or would like a different view in your green reports button, here's a couple that are defaults. Your all fields detail will give you every bit of information that was entered in on this listing. So you'll see even have all the quick action icons available. This first section is the building, property, and location information. Then information about the listing itself, taxes and financial, rooms dimensions, all the feature codes, cooperation and compensation, a huge aspect of your career. What I do like is you have your agent hit counts here and your client hit count. So 3 clients have looked at this listing, 17 agents have looked at this listing. Now just so you know, it does not reach the entire GLR. That'd be the Great Lakes Repository, all of our data sharing partners. The only ones that it does read is those of our partners using the Paragon system. So don't think that anybody using RealComp would be able to be counted on this because it's just not the same system. And of course this has the pictures here as well. And if Mike had did labels and descriptions on each one, they would also show here. All right, it's some great information. If you had a couple of listings selected, this was from the Market Monitor, so you can see all the new listings in my particular areas. Great information here too. And of course there are other reports down here as well. So you get spreadsheets, details, multi-ups, CMAs are in here as well. Some great information for you to poke around. And if you find that one of these is a favorite, so if you want to take this and drag it up to the very top and put it right here in your favorites, you certainly can, instead of having to find it again. And then if you've realized, oh, that was the wrong report, I don't need that here, I'm simply going to click the little X and it's going to go back to its original filing place. So your last things we want to discuss is your icons on the top. Your home button doesn't need any description. Your search icon is where you're going to be doing your searching from. So you will pick your class and then do your searches from here. We also have some specialty searches, tour and open houses. Hot sheets are going to be an activity report, anything that's changed in your particular area. So you can do it on the entire MLS or right down to the area that you're looking at. We also have your saved property searches. So anything that you save for your clients or yourself will show here. You can also create listing cards, slightly different from a saved property search. Listings is where you're going to be entering your listings in. Again, you pick the class and start to go there. CMAs, we do not recommend you doing a CMA from this way. We will show you in our online class here how to do it. We usually go from the searching icon and do it that way. Contacts is where you're going to be adding your contacts. What you can do is add one singly. You can import a list. You might want to get with tech support on a little template on how to get which column to be correct. It took me a couple of tries my very first time. I can also export these if I'd like. I could print, I can do labels. Now here's the thing about labels. If you want to create labels for your clients, you might want to have their full mailing address. And of course, HomeBot is still new to our MLS. It's a great drip campaign. You get 10 free clients to put in there, and after that, it is an upsell for you. But here, as you can see, here's my client. She is active. She is on the Collaboration Center. Well, we call it the Collab Center. I can view her site. She has 52 matches. One is new. So all in all, there's four that have changed recently, and I can see what my client is up to. She's got a favorite. She's got one rejected, but generally this only shows the active listings unless they are in her saved searches or one that she's created herself. She was last notified here, I added her here, and she last accessed it just not too long ago. So there's a lot that you can do in your contacts. Financials, there's a lot of information here, but I do want to remind you about the Realtors Association Code of Ethics. So NAR has the Code of Ethics, and one of those in there does say, hey, don't play a mortgage specialist or a lawyer if you are not one. Doesn't read exactly like that, but you kind of get it. So I can compare a 15-year to a 30-year mortgage. I've got some that really use these things. It just helps the learning. There's a lot of information in here that you may or may not use. Taxes. So when you're going to list a property, you're always going to want to pull as much information from the tax records as possible. So we have Realist. They go out, find all the information, bundle it up, and send it to us. BSNA is the online authority. Now we do have a class. It's called Public Records with Realist and BSNA. It's only offered about once a month, and we go through on how to search the tax records and find everything and make sure that you're getting the best listing data that you can. Membership, I never touch this one anymore because in HomeSnap, I can find every agent in the Great Lakes repository. And I just tap their telephone number and it initiates the phone call for me. Resources is going to be your best friend. Now, what we released here on Labor Day is the Northern Great Lakes Data Share. Now, I click into this. It gets me into Paragon. So you'll see that you're now in the Northern Great Lakes Realtors MLS. But please note, There is no offers of compensation or cooperation on this. So you will not have a showing time button. You'll have some of the things, but not showing time. We also have HomeBot. We have showing time, Cloud CMA, HomeSnap Pro, RPR. Here's your social media and lead gen pieces. You can register for classes right here, and your online forms as well. And the broker or secretaries do have access to statistical reporting. Preferences. This is where you are going to do cool things like change your background to this wonderful 4th of July theme. So you're going to use your preferences wizard, and you had a whole video on this, on how to set up your headshot, your company logo, and things like that. The last thing I really want to tell you about is way down here at the bottom. I can add a couple more shortcuts here. There's only 2 or 3 that you're given to begin with. Just use the little edit widget tool, the gear, and change what you want.